I'm Douglas Thompson, and this is Conversations in Tourism. I was born in Dangriga, Belize. I was fortunate in that my father was a school teacher, and he got transferred frequently. So I grew up in villages like City River, Siboon River, Gales Point, before reaching the age for high school, and we moved to Belize City, where I went to Wesley College and graduated from Wesley College. Worked at the Belize City Council for a while, and then moved on. I played music here in Belize. Those folks my age would remember the Harmonettes. I played with the Harmonettes before I moved to the United States, and that was back in 1969. I lived in the United States for 36 years, and retired and relocated back to Belize to build Black Orchid here in Burrell Boom.
We're sitting here at the beautiful Black Orchid Resort, and it occurred to me, why Burrell Boom?
Interesting question. Most of my friends thought that I lost my mind when I told them I was building a resort in Burrell Boom, because they thought that, why not be on Kikarka, Placentia, San Pedro? And I thought that the Belize River has great value. The jungle has value. It's the home of the howler monkeys right here, and the village is a quaint little village with very lovely people. And why not? I thought that, yes, if I just built it and waited for folks to come, that would be a failure. But if I built it and marketed it properly, that I would be able to attract folks that are not necessarily interested anymore in just sun and beach. Right? Clearly, that's a huge market, but it's not the only market. Belize has a lot more to offer than just sand and sun.
We also know that you have played a much larger role in the development of tourism for Belize. What actually led you to the decision to become involved in tourism for the country?
Well, once you're in tourism, I'm not the kind of person that half steps. So I got immersed in the industry and joined the BHA and the BTIA at the time. And shortly after being a member of BHA, I was invited to serve on the BHA board, which I did, and after 2 years became the president of BHA, and where I served for 5 years and got involved in the industry, totally immersed. And so as a president of BHA, I also was able to get the BTB to sponsor BHA as a marketing arm, almost like a partner with the BTB. So in any event, I got involved and was able to convince the BTB that as property owners, that we could do a better job selling ourselves than they can do with clerical people that they sent out to do the marketing in the past. And so we were successful with a sample, with the first stage, actually going to Europe with a plan to market the hotels in Europe. And the BTB helped us with, I believe it was $50,000 at the time. And we just kept doing the job and coming back to the board at BTB and pointing out the successes that we were clearly able to show. And we got up to the point where they were giving us $200,000 a year to market. And this is over and above the subvention that they provided to both BHA and BTIA. And so that continued until COVID. last year when everything changed, and now we are reorganizing and using a new approach, but BHA is still very much focused and moving forward. I believe that an organization like BHA has a long ways to go, and from one president to the other, you build on each other, and you don't throw away your past, you build on it. And so we have been successful doing that. Now we have our own television station, which is really truly amazing for an NGO, and with dynamic board members and a dynamic local president. I'm used to local presidents from my past, but with a dynamic president and a strong board, we're able to move the process even in the face of COVID.
Have you ever experienced anything closely resembling the situation of the pandemic that we're going through?
Absolutely not. I don't think anybody has. Nothing, but we've had ups and downs and issues, like for instance, I've had flooding, but those are all short term. Long term, like the impact of COVID now is over a year and continuing. This is a first. And it really brings us to the reality that we have to change the way we do business, period. We're never going to go back to the way we were prior to COVID. With the constant trade shows and consumer shows, yes, those will come back and we will do those, but those will never stand alone the way they did in the past. With the digital marketing that's now highlighted, we expect to see a lot more and more of that. And even there, though, numbers make the difference, and the diversity of the country and the facilities come into play even more with the digital era. One of the things that I am doing here at Black Orchid that is totally different and definitely totally different than what I did in the past. 90% of my marketing in the past was looking outwards, looking to the international guests, and at the disadvantage of local folks. So our offering here at Black Orchid is changing as a result of COVID, where we have already experienced a lot more local guests staying at the hotel, but even the daily offerings that we offer now, entertainment, low-key entertainment, you're never gonna find a big Brahma here at Black Orchid. It's a quiet space, but you will find jazz nights, right? We'll have jazz night, we'll have comedy nights, we'll have, even a little karaoke to some degree. Not gonna go crazy with that, but we are changing our offerings, right? Of course, we offer the restaurant and bar, and the pool has always been available to locals. But now that focus is a lot more than it was before COVID, and in my view, it will continue to be playing a bigger role than just depending on the international market. Yes, there's a lot government can do. I must give some credit in terms of the infrastructure of Belize. It has improved significantly over the last 15 years. Even the facilities that are government organized, like the Maya sites and Holchan Marine, and those are very well done and need to be maintained. For individual properties, we believe that government could help us in a major way by zero rating our tax structure. For instance, many of us would like to expand or improve and upgrade our properties, and because duties on importing stuff are so high, it's you have to think twice before you lay out the kind of monies that you need to do to really fully upgrade your property. We believe government makes more money if we attract more people. And so it's the cart and the horse situation. Yes, they have to give up some money to enhance the product by, maybe collect a little less in taxes, but in terms of per property, But in terms of volume and number of property and number of people coming, it would enhance them in the long run, that they would still benefit. You know, you can't just think in terms of how much you got to lay out, but what is that layout buying in effect. And so in that sense, we have some relief in taxes. Right now it's ridiculous in the areas of fuel, gasoline, diesel. It's just killing the industry. Tourism in Belize is still growing. It still actually is in its infancy compared to, let's say, a Jamaica or the rest of the Caribbean that has been involved in tourism for many, many years. We're really young at this and we're growing. So there are opportunities for people to get involved. I only would recommend that if you're going to get involved in tourism, you study the industry and know what your niche is going to be. You know, we're getting larger and larger properties coming online in Belize, the chain companies like the Marriott and others.
The Wyndham
just opened. Yeah. And so those are the large properties. But a lot of travelers are looking for that experience that you will not get at a Wyndham. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not going to get that personal touch that you're going to get at a smaller property or at your home. So yes, there's a market for everybody out there. You just need to find out where it is that you want to be and then develop that. But do it well. Don't do it half-step. Don't just knock up some boards and say you got rooms, and you know, do it well. Don't halfway into it. Plunge in 100%, and you will be successful because the market is there.